You are listening to chartingwealth.com for Thursday, the 30th of August, 2018. Everything up for the day. The biggest gainer is the NASDAQ 100 as represented by QQQ. But first, let's go to our weekly chart and jump into the S&P 500. Man, it is beautiful. Going into our second week of nice, strong up movement. Derivative oscillator gaining energy. Price percent oscillator kicking up into higher gear. It looks beautiful on that weekly chart. What's the 2-day showing us? It's looking gorgeous. 2-3 days of strong up movement. This has been a nice week for the S&P 500 going higher, higher, higher. Keep going, baby. Just remember what goes up does come down. What do we see on that 4-hour chart? Remember our jumping in point where things rotated over and started heading up. And of course, it has been looking beautiful and just keeps looking beautiful. And somewhere around that 285 mark, something like that. I mean, if we're going to go to the highest point. And of course, where's it reached? Well, it topped out today at a high of 291. That is just gorgeous over the course of 2 weeks. I mean, again, quite beautiful. And we will just watch and continue to see things just buzz up. Now, again, be careful. You've made a nice chunk of change in your virtual trading account, so watch it, learn when to get out. Don't get greedy. You've already done quite well if you're following our rule, so be smart about it. Now, that's where we are on the S&P 500. Back to the weekly chart on the Qs. What's the Qs doing? Well, of course, it's bouncing off the red signal line. Weekly chart after sort of some lackluster weeks. We're seeing a nice, big, strong up week so far. We have the derivative oscillator gaining lots of momentum, price percent oscillator heading up. We go to the 2-day chart. What do we see there? It's crossed over going up. Now, remember that latest 2-day chart had ended on Tuesday. First day of the latest one on Wednesday. It'll end at the end of the day on Thursday, booting up above the Bollinger Band. Remember, those are our volatility bands, pushing above that. Of course, we had a crossover on the 2-day chart for that last candle. So again, we are in line to actually wait for a jumping in point. What do we see going on the 4-hour chart? Well, we don't have a pullback yet to get in. Thought we might be seeing it top off, but the market was just resting and shot up in the morning and the afternoon. So we don't have a jumping in point yet for the Qs. We will continue to keep an eye on things and let you know when we have one. But again, we're still riding that pony on the S&P 500. We only want to trade one thing at a time. Try doing more than one. You can practice it. Very, very hard to follow. Okay, and again, the Q's up 1.15%. What's going on TLT 20-year bonds? Well, of course, 2 strong prior weeks. This week is a red spinning top. Price percent oscillator flat, derivative oscillator gaining just a little bit of upward momentum. TLT was up a little bit for the day, 0.13%. That 2-day chart, first day of the latest 2-day chart, of course, it is showing on our Heikin Ashi candlesticks down movement, derivative oscillator losing momentum, price percent oscillator heading down. So again, even though TLT was up for the day, our Heikin Ashi average pace candlesticks, those are calculated differently. Had about 80,000 people take our training so far. Check it out at the website and our YouTube channel, Heikin Ashi, H-E-I-K-E-N-A-S-H-I, Heikin Ashi. It's a different way to measure candlesticks. It's typically high open, low close. These are measured differently. Very helpful. It's all we use as far as candlesticks go. Price movement still above the weekly, but again, we see it falling off. And lastly, on that 4-hour chart on 20-year bonds, what do we see? We sort of see things maybe bottoming out right there. We don't know yet. Derivative oscillators still gaining downward momentum. Price percent oscillators heading down. But so far on that 4-hour chart, down in the morning and then sliding a little bit sideways and up in the afternoon. So see if that's bottoming out. We'll keep an eye on things. Remember, we're still primed for up movement as long as that 2-day chart and the weekly stay in an up position. The minute that the down movement ends, and if indeed it does start going up, it gives you a jumping in point on that 4-hour chart. Now, back to the weekly, our last chart for the day. Gold up 0.46%. Now, gold may be hitting a real bottom here, folks. Bottomed out somewhere around 112.71 on our Heiken Ashi candlesticks. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillators gone from flat to heading up a little bit. We have a green open box, not a big green candle, but a green open box candle trying to move up. We go to the 2-day chart, and of course, it's already crossed over back on the 2-day candle ending Friday the 24th of August. These last two-day candles, again, it's just the first day of this latest one, but it's pushing through the weekly trend line. So we shall see what we shall see. Gold maybe is bottoming out. 4-hour chart, what are we seeing there? Well, we can see where gold sort of topped out back on the morning of Tuesday the 28th and is down and sideways since then. Even though it was up a little bit for the day, the price percent oscillator is heading up just barely. Derivative oscillator continuing to lose downward momentum. So keep your eye on gold. See if we have a change in this weekly trend line. If we have a weekly vertical crossover anytime soon, of course, we will let you know, my friends. That's where we are as we end the day. If you've not purchased our book, Charting Your Way to Wealth, it's the #1 way you're going to understand what we do here. And it is priced reasonably for you. Look on the show notes at our YouTube channel, at our website. If you're getting our email, which we send out for free every day, that includes all of our daily market reviews and weekly market review. Plus it has free PDFs that you can print out, which are your daily market, weekly market, and trade worksheets. They will supercharge and empower your training. Folks, God bless. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.